And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, R. Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, Double or Nothing is over. It is officially in the books. It was a long, long night, my friend. How are you doing?
Yeah, Brad, it was a very long show. Over 4 hours. I think we had, 13 matches if you include the buy-in. It was just an absolute marathon to the fullest extent. But a very enjoyable show, a noteworthy show, Brad. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing very well. Overall, I thought it was a very fun show. Our posts or our pre-show predictions were basically all crap because not only did we get a ton of them wrong, but two of the matches weren't even on the card by the time our show came out. And Rampage aired.
TK did us dirty there.
Yeah, TK really added more. And I said in the pod, we're probably getting more on Rampage.
You did.
I hate that I was right, but it is what happened. But I don't feel like my time was wasted. I did feel like the first half of the show was the weaker half, and then it just sort of exploded in the second half. We're going to talk about
Interesting. Okay. I didn't see that coming.
Well, we don't have to rank it. It's just, oof. I texted you about the Rampage main event already that we got on this show. So we'll get into it. Starting with the buy-in, which I'm so happy everything turned out. I felt really good going into this card because right away my predictions were right that Hook would just eat everybody. Danhausen would pin Mark Sterling in the middle of the ring, even though he didn't do any of the work. Although he did do some of the work. I thought it was cool that we got to see Danhausen actually wrestle. He took a beating before doing a Hurricane Rana, which I thought was great.
Great house in Rana, yes.
Yes.
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun,
different too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at him.
Yeah, maybe it was just the fact that he was pulling off a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, I think it's just
but just the way he nailed it. It was really, I mean, it feels like I watched that 2 days ago by now, but it looked really cool, man. And seeing him and Hook in the ring together as an official tag team was pretty jarring to me in and of itself.
I think the Hurricane Rana looked so different because he whipped his whole body from the knees rather than from the waist. So he looked like he was just getting extra momentum. His head was going 800 miles an hour by the time he actually hit that thing. So I thought that was really cool. I loved this. I thought this was a ton of fun. It was very short. It was exactly what we thought it would be. The entrances were great. I love that Danhausen just sort of says his thoughts whenever. Mic's on, mic's off, doesn't matter. He's just talking while Hook's coming down the ramp, like just whatever. And then in the ring,
I agree.
He begged for the tag. Hook didn't say a word, spoke volumes. Still, I loved this so much. Fun way to get into the show.
Yeah, Brad, you were a little higher on this than I was. I thought it was fine, and it was the buy-in, so it was, it was not on the main card. It was fine by me. I didn't love it. I don't know what exactly was missing for me. I don't know if I maybe thought the match was going to go longer, or Tony Nese and Hook would have more of a back and forth, moment in the match. But Hookhausen won, so all is right in the world. And like you said, our prediction was absolutely accurate here. Danhausen asked to get tagged in from Hook. Danhausen comes in, he gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. It's a wrap. So yeah, man, it was enjoyable. I didn't love it, but I was glad it was on this card, and I'm glad our guys got the W.
I actually thought the weakest part of the match was Hook and Tony Nese. I didn't love what they did in there. It was just a lot of throwing, a lot of missing throws, and a lot of.
I thought they would have more chemistry.
I thought so too. It was kind of dead. I thought Hook had more chemistry with Mark Sterling, frankly, and he got dumped on his head at the end of that. Like,
yes, he did. And I really think the result of this is going to be Hook versus Tony Nese. on an upcoming Dynamite or Rampage.
Absolutely.
And then maybe I'll get what I truly want there. Them hopefully going at it for 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, agreed. Hopefully that happens. But I'm telling you, like, this was exactly what it needed to be. Wasn't perfect, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than some of the other stuff on this card. But we'll get into that as we head in. Our first match of the evening, we weren't sure if we were going to get. As of last night, we weren't certain that MJF was going to be at Double or Nothing. We didn't know if he was going to leave Las Vegas. I don't know how much of this is a work. I'm sure part of it is, but it seems 90% of it, or 95% or more, was a shoot. MJF, not happy with AEW, was planning on leaving. Wardlow eats MJF. There were some really good dirty spots by MJF to get the upper hand, and then going for the ring and having the ring taken off his finger popped me huge. And then as Tyler, as you predicted, 10 power bombs for MJF.
We got it.
MJF is killed, and Wardlow gets the graphic, which I thought ruled, because it looked genuinely like, obviously he knew he was going to get the graphic, but I don't know that he thought he was going to get it live at the event, because when he turned around, that looked like genuine surprise. Like, wow, I can't believe that's up there. That was a really cool moment. AEW has done that in the past. They did that with Fuego. That was a really cool moment. This was really great. What were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I want to start by asking you two questions. One, you said you popped for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I need to know two spots and how large you popped for them, I guess. What is the pop meter for you? First, Wardlow being in solitary confinement and then being escorted. I know we knew he was going to be escorted. He was going to have the handcuffs on. But did you have any reaction for him being in solitary confinement and the way they shot that, like straight out of a Fast and Furious movie with The Rock breaking out?
0% reaction for two reasons.
Really?
One,
Okay.
I didn't care. Two, I don't watch that shit. Those are bad movies. So,
we have to have a separate episode at some point, or a segment.
I watched one start to finish. I don't remember which one, because there's 85 of them, and I was like, this is really bad. This is like Skyscraper level bad.
Now we are engaging in skyscraper slander.
Listen,
which I did not sign up for this evening.
Fast and Furious, loved it. Then I saw whatever, the Tokyo Drift. Everybody hated that.
Everyone agrees Tokyo was the worst one.
That's when I was done. And then the last one I watched, The Rock, I think it might have been The Rock's first movie. Is that 5?
Yeah.
4? I don't know which one.
The dude breaks out of his cast. It's amazing cinema.
Wow. It was so bad. It was truly, truly terrible.
And not even entertaining. Okay, so we all agree it's bad, but you don't think it's even entertaining.
It had entertainment value. There was some cool stuff in it. Yeah. Okay. I would never watch it again.
For you.
No, okay. like anything I need for the movie, I could watch in 2-minute clips on YouTube. So I'm good forever.
Well,
I'm as likely to watch that again as I am to watch The Bachelor ever. I'll put it that way. But here's why I didn't love it. Number one, it took them 25 minutes to get to the ring. It was way too damn long.
It was a long time.
It was dead silent. I don't know. AEW has a real problem with miking their crowds, because everybody's saying like the whole arena was going crazy. Great crowd at the arena. The people that were at the arena that we follow on Twitter, that were actually there, were all saying this place is crazy. It's been nuts all night. There were so many moments during the show where I thought the crowd was completely dead, and I don't know if that was the case, but it just sounded like crap. There was a couple of weeks ago where we had a Dynamite and a Rampage, both of them filmed on the same night, and Rampage sounded live, like really loud, and Dynamite sounded like trash. It didn't sound like good crowd noise at all.
Yeah,
it was just totally dead. But then on Twitter, people were saying at Dynamite, "Wow, this was great crowd tonight." It's like it was dead. The women's match was dead silent for that night, whatever that was. This is kind of how I felt all night. There were moments where it was really loud, and then there were moments where it was like, I don't think anybody's there. There's 14 and a half or whatever thousand people that are actively asleep right now. Probably during that American Top Team match. Well, they should have been. So it was to Goldberg. It just felt like gimmick infringement presented by 19 Media. It felt like gimmick infringement. I hated it.
Oh wow. Okay.
I hated the walkout. It was just too long. I was waiting for him to stop on the way out and stand in sparks. And like that's
the smoke coming out of his nose.
I mean, look, think about what they did. He came out of the little thing, and then he had security walk him down while everybody chanted Wardlow.
Yeah,
it's 1996, 1997 peak Goldberg.
He is the baby of Goldberg and Dave Bautista.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, they even called him the Leviathan again. So I thought I love what they did with the story. I love that idea, but they didn't have to make it like Spaceballs made fun of the original Star Wars and how slow the Star Destroyer went overhead. And they sped it up in like 97, 98 for the special editions on purpose because Lucas was like, yeah, that shit was too slow. So that's what I felt like. This was like that first Star Wars where it's just like, okay, can you just get there a little faster? The entrance lasted longer than the match.
Okay, so you hated the entrance. Noted. My second question for you was, did you at least pop for MJF's eye poke?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
And then turning around with
this
the arms
episode
extended,
is saved. Yes, thank you. It was a great, well-timed eye poke. Okay, we're good now.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, I feel like we could speculate for several minutes about the MJF situation. I'm so confused, man. I don't know what is real and what's not, which perhaps is not a bad thing when we're following wrestling. Some of the most enjoyable wrestling we've consumed, Brad, in our lifetime has been when we can't tell what's real and what's not. I did think the ending was interesting, not necessarily just the 10 power bombs, which I did correctly predict. Thank you for that. But the fact that he was stretchered out.
Yeah.
This would
totally.
This would lead one to believe that the MJF will not be on Dynamite, will not likely not be on Rampage, and maybe he'll be taking some time off. Presumably, he'll be back at some point in AEW, but there's just so many questions surrounding him right now that I'm just, man, I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I'm just grateful that we got this match. It was exactly what it needed to be. Glorified squash. Wardlow gets the pin, and I think you and I want to see him in a title program, ideally TNT before heavyweight title. So I'm here for the Wardlow ascension and for the moment he got after the match. That was cool.
Yeah, I think Wardlow goes to TNT first. MJF, I'd rather see in the world title. He's already challenged for it a couple of times, so I'd like to see it again. I would love to see him. I'd love to see him do another one with CM Punk since he beat him. So I feel like that would be a really good one and a no-brainer.
Yeah, I don't follow the rankings as closely as other people might, as some of our listeners or viewers might, but I just always pay attention to leaving these pay-per-views who seems to be poised as the number one contender. Like, what is the number one contender match we're getting on the show that's not advertised as the number one contender match, but we know this person should be next in line. And it would seem that MJF versus Wardlow is that match. I mean, what were the other singles men's matches we had on the card? Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby, Wardlow versus MJF, and am I forgetting one? I think that might be it, right?
That's it.
So Wardlow, one would surmise that just based on hype and how you felt leaving the show, it seems like Wardlow would be slated to, fight CM Punk at All Out. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but he's just been positioned in a huge way.
The contenders, the power rankings currently for singles competition. Obviously, CM Punk is still listed here as the number one contender. That's no longer true. I'm sure it'll be Hangman, or he'll go down the list, however that works. Number 2 contender is Jon Moxley. Number 3 is Adam Cole. Number 4 is Jay Lethal.
Oh.
Number 5 is Tony Nese. So
Fascinating.
those are our top 5 right now in terms
Number
of
5
rankings.
is Tony Nese.
Yeah,
I did not have that on my bingo card.
he's won so many matches on Dark
On
that
Dark, yeah. Haven't watched in a while.
which well, I haven't either, but and that sucks that he's on Dark and not on Dynamite, but I'm glad they're doing this thing with him and Hook. He'll be handed his first loss pretty soon. I have a feeling, but I would love to see Tony Nese cut it up with Kyle O'Reilly. I think those two would have a great match, or Bryan Danielson, or this mosquito that just flew in here. I'm looking at
the season, my dude. 'Tis the season.
Yeah. So Serena Deeb, number 1 contender for the women.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's Nyla, Anna Jay, Toni Storm, Chris Statlander. Anna Jay just lost, so she probably moves down, which means that it's Nyla and then Tony. I don't think Nyla will get another shot. I think they're going to have Nyla lose or something because she's already wrestled Thunder Rosa. So I want to say Tony is next. I don't know.
I'm here
Chris
for that.
Statlander seems like she's ready to take the TBS title.
She's got something big coming her way.
She has to be the one to take it off of Jade. I think
so. The in-ring work plus the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
And the moment, we'll get to this soon. The moment of Chris and Jade facing off. I mean, I could hear the cha-chings in my ears.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Oh my God. Yes. Also size-wise, she matches up really well. Nobody is in Jade's category. Nobody. But on the roster in terms of somebody that is just larger and stronger, I think Chris is bigger than almost everybody else outside of Jade and probably Shafir. And after that, I don't know. Outside of Nyla, I don't really know who else it would be. The tag team champion, number 1 contenders right now are FTR. Number 2 was Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks. Number 3 was Keith and Swerve. And then after that, it's Danielson and Moxley. I don't know. This wouldn't affect their rankings. And then Roppongi Vice. So I feel like FTR has to be next for Jungle Boy Luchasaurus. And then they just have a whole bunch of gold. And I don't know if that leads to a program at Forbidden Door. I hope it does, where they're in line for the IWGP, but we'll see what happens there. Speaking of tag teams, the next match was the Hardys and the Young Bucks. This was a great match. You and I were talking before we got here. I really enjoyed this. Matt and Jeff leaned into being older and leaned into being at the end of their career. And this last run, got to say, it definitely showed the way that they were moving. They're like you said, their bump card. Who has a bump card like either of those dudes, especially Jeff or Matt Hardy, just taking leg drops 20 feet off a ladder onto his spinal cord over and over and over again. Of course, he's going to walk around like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So that being said, I thought this was a ton of fun. Like the Young Bucks kicks are pinpoint.
Yes. When the Hardys were on their knees in the ring and just saying, "Come on, give it to us again."
Yeah.
And yeah, just
and they're already bleeding. Like Matt was already bleeding.
Super kick.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I am watching these dudes get kicked in the face. This is pretty nuts. Second match on the show. This was a blast. We knew these guys were going to deliver something very, very good. They had to. They're too talented not to.
I love the awareness, the Jackson awareness to get into the ring and then leave the ring because the crowd is chanting for Brandon Cutler, and then them shoving Brandon Cutler, getting mega heat from the crowd because the crowd was like, "We love Brandon Cutler." How do you not? He was Alita the other night.
Like he's in my notes. Actually, I'm looking off the screen.
Every time somebody's out, the spray. The spray.
The spray during the entrance always just, I think, is magnificent. I only took 2 notes during this match, though. I typed on my phone, Cutler chance, !
Yeah.
And then this one, man. This was one of my standout moments from the night. I typed in my phone, Cutler bump. Do you remember that bump he took off the apron? And his body just sort of, it was like out of a video game.
He's so lanky.
He was dead.
Yeah, he's so lanky that he looks like an NPC in a video game that falls off a building and just spins.
Yes.
Like that's
Yeah.
just you're absolutely right. He looks
His bump and sell off that
Yeah.
apron was just so good. I mean, longtime listeners of GI know that I am a huge fan. I am so happy that he found this role.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, really like his work. Brandon Cutler is so great, and I actually miss the D&D stuff that he did. His
Really?
His face paint.
Yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like that something like that will come back eventually when the Bucks treat him like ass, and he eventually leaves them, and then teams up with somebody. He's going to come out
Sure.
with that gear again, and he's going to get a huge ovation from the crowd.
Yeah.
He will be immediately made if that happens. I think that would be great. But
yeah, no doubt. I think back to him and Peter Avalon.
That's
having that battle of like, who's the worst loser, who's the biggest loser. Hopefully that's not gimmick infringement. Who's the biggest loser on this card or in this company?
Man, who's
it would. Do you remember that show? There were so many shows that I used to watch. I used to watch Biggest Loser, Flavor of Love with Flavor Flav. Do you remember when Bret Michaels had a love show as well? Did you miss the whole VH1 love dating show time? This was like 2005.
Did I miss it?
Did you? Yeah.
No.
Did you watch?
I didn't. No, I did not watch it.
Okay, that's good for you. That's good.
I absolutely didn't miss it. I simply didn't watch it.
I'm gonna ask you one more person.
Okay.
Do you remember? I think it was on MTV. Actually, there was.
I just wanted to say Baron Black is the Biggest Loser.
Continue. This is yes. Shout out to Baron. There was a show on MTV called A Shot with Tila Tequila. A Shot at Love. Do you remember her? It turns out she's incredibly problematic now, but that was a whole phase, man. I'm glad you missed it.
I remember that there was stuff going on. It's just like, I don't think I had VH1 on my TVs after 2000.
Yeah. You were doing bigger and better things, my friend.
Like the last time I watched VH1, Natalie and Bruglia probably had a new hit. So like
Behind the Music was a decent series.
Yes, but like
yeah.
I'm not that into that stuff. Like Unbreak My Heart was probably playing, and I was probably mystified by the shower scene in that video. Not because it's a shower scene, it's because when she's in the tub on the floor, the shower spraying, not a drop of water on her hair. Not a drop of water. She's just in there bone ass dry with the shower going. And every time I was like, what's happening here? Like,
it's like when this last thing I'll say on this tangent I started. I agree with you. It's what I think about when we have movies such as the Fast and Furious, where there's a fire happening, like a huge fire, and characters are just like talking while the fire is among them. It's like, no, there's no way. This is not real. I get it's a movie, but also can we adhere to regular fire standards? If you are in the middle of a blazing home, you're not able to have this like dramatic 2-minute dialogue. You need to get the F out of that house. I want you to live.
I don't believe you at all. Jeff Hardy did a dance on The Way to Save His Brother. Like it's
great moment.
Yeah. And okay.
Suspension of disbelief.
Since you brought up Fast and the Furious again, I watched both Sonic the Hedgehog movies with Jess and Freya. I had way more fun watching those movies than I thought I would have. Amazing. Those movies are awesome.
It also inspired Freya's birthday artwork.
Yes. She's been watching like the old Sonic cartoons and stuff. So the movie has definitely been a mainstay. So we're having a Sonic themed birthday party for her, but there is a Fast and Furious reference in the first one that got me.
I might have to watch now.
Yeah.
All right.
Paramount Plus. I think the first one's on Amazon, on Prime, but or
hopefully,
or
hopefully Paramount Plus is offers more consistent streaming dependability than Bleacher Report.
Oh
Brad, can I just tell you, and we'll continue with our matches. I'm going to make this very quick. Again, longtime listeners, if you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here. If you're a longtime GI listener, you know that I've had issues with streaming these AEW pay-per-views. Brad, I sent you 2 photos from tonight. Bleacher Report cut out on me on 2 different occasions. One was for sure Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole, and it was the dreaded it stopped for me. It said, we're trying to fix an issue, like, Silver Screen Jones. And then when I came back, Adam Cole's hand was raised in victory. That always happens, Brad. It's always at the most inopportune times. I don't remember the first time it happened, but I don't remember what the second instant was, but I remember that first time I missed Adam Cole's victory. So I was not happy, man. And then you go online and you see that tons of other people are having issues with BR. BR, I need you to get your ish together, please.
It's been happening every single paper.
Every time. It's like an ongoing joke.
So I'm
not laughing.
Shout out to Jabari for the cable. I ran an Ethernet cable from the back of the house, down the hallway, around the corner, into the bedroom, around another corner, to the back of my TV, and I still had like 15 feet left, at least, maybe more than that. But when I tell you this cord is going in through the entire house, I'm saying from the front of the house to the back of the house, not a single issue. It hiccuped one time where it got blurry, and I was like, oh no. And it was right around the time you lost reception for the second time of the evening. I didn't have any problems. And last year it was like every 5 minutes, I was like, son of a bitch, what do I do?
I remember.
I was furious. I was throwing stuff.
As you should be.
I'm just Ethernet cable every time. No problems. Speaking of no problems, Jade Cargill handled Anna Jay in a very good match for both of them. I thought this was, like we talked about before, Anna Jay, and it gave Jade her best match last time. I thought both of them had a great match. That pump kick to Anna Jay looked like it probably caved in her chest. Good God. That was incredible. I love that. I don't want to talk about the match. I'm sure you don't either. We got to talk about the two appearances, the two debuts in AEW that happened during this match. I'm going to let you sound off. I know you're super excited about this. I am too, but you've been on this hype train for a while now, so go ahead.
Yeah. I think this is when I texted you the signature several all caps letters in a row. Yeah. There's no words. It's just sending you all caps.
But you predicted this. You predicted this about 2 minutes before it happened, though.
Yes, I did.
We have to get him tonight, right?
Once I saw Smart Mark Sterling come out, I just thought, like, man, this could be the debut of Stokley Hathaway, formerly Malcolm Bivens, for those NXT watchers. So yeah, man, this is why when you said the second half of the show outperformed the first half, I don't know that I'm ready to say that, because this is where I thought, oh man, like they're really Tony and company are coming to deliver tonight. I did not expect to see this. This was amazing. Stokley Hathaway is now presumably the manager of the Baddies, which is everything I've wanted, Brad. I think this is so perfect. Mark Sterling was awesome with Jade, but it was clear that he is not needed anymore because Stokley Hathaway became a free agent. And then, Brad, I'm going to lay this one up to you. In very similar to All Out fashion, we did not just get one debut in this segment. We did not just get Stokley Hathaway. We also got someone else. So I want to first say here we saw Chris Statlander come out. So yes. It was Anna Jay. It was Chris Statlander. So
that's not fair. 2-on-3.
2 versus 3. And I was watching with my dad, actually, and my dad said, I don't know, a third person's got to come out. Who do you think it's going to be? I said, I don't know, Dad. I think it might just be 2-on-3, and they'll just keep it that way. Not even being facetious. I just thought that's what it was going to be. But my pops called it, Brad. We got a debut. I got to lay it up to you. Tell me more, and what did you think?
Number one, I didn't see this coming, because I feel like we've been predicting this for 4 months. It feels like maybe more than that. Yeah. We got Athena, formerly Ember Moon. Man, it was so good. She brought the energy for this. I was so happy for her. The crowd reacted huge when she came out of there. Bro, when I tell you that when I look at a lot of these things like stage performances, the number one thing that I always think when I have when kids are up on the stage acting is you got to have energy. You have to bring it, even if you don't believe it. just be big, be more, just keep going, have more energy, and it will be good. If you feel stupid, it's probably working. And Athena came out on fire. She was so excited to be there, and she got right up in Jade's face. And oh my God, it was all so good. I was yelling. Jess shut the door. She was getting ready to go out grocery
Waiting for
shopping.
that.
Oh yeah, I screamed when Stokley came out, and then Athena's music came out, and I was like, oh, I just yelling. Just amazing, man. I'm so happy. The women's division is in really good shape as of the last couple of months, really. But man, Athena is such a huge piece.
Yeah, 100%. And I know this show was incredibly long, but we had three women's matches on this card, Brad,
Yeah,
which was I think a pretty significant milestone for this
agreed.
company. And we actually have a storyline, hopefully moving forward, that we can sink our teeth into. We just had two new talent injected here into the company that they're going to be big players. I love the potential of Anna Jay, Athena, the fallen goddess, and Chris Statlander versus the baddies. Like, give me that. Chris Statlander versus Jade for the TBS title at All Out. Give me that. And a potential tag team match like on Dynamite or Rampage of perhaps Athena and Anna Jay versus Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet. I'm here for all of this. I really want to see where this goes. I want to ask you though, and I think you have a thought on this too.
Yeah.
Is Chris the next TBS title contender, or do you think Athena jumps to that spot, or she maybe have to work her way in and pick up those wins first?
Chris is already Chris is ranked above her. They follow the ranking system. It'll be Chris. The only way that it won't be Chris is if Jade's like, all right, fine, you want it, come get it. That's the only way it'll work. Because if she makes, because you know how those titles work, the rankings don't really matter. You can just challenge whenever. So I don't know, but Chris is the one that should be the next one. I don't think Chris should be the next TB or women's champ. I feel like she should take the TBS title. Besides, it's a better title. Tony could be the next women's title and do something with that, or women's champ. I also feel like Ruby could be. I don't know what do you do with Ruby now. We'll talk about that when we get to it. I can't say I'm upset by how it happened, but I don't know that it was.
You're upset. We'll get there. I think
like
I think you have a right to be.
Like I said, I like the second half better. The next match on the card though was a potential match of the year.
Let's talk about it.
House of Black against Death Triangle. House of Black wins with an assist from the newest member of House of Black. Finally, Julia Blackheart. What did you think about this?
Yeah, this felt so cathartic. I'll start at the end first because we finally got Julia Hart. My dad and I were waiting for the lights to go dark and for Julia to appear. Shout out to my pops. He also called that. Brad, we'd been predicting this. We'd been waiting for this, much like the Athena debut, for so long that it felt like we finally got the resolution we needed. I could go on and on about this match, Brad, but I'm going to try to be as concise as I can. This was absolutely my match of the night. On our prediction show, I hopefully coherently expressed how excited I was for this and how I thought if they were given time, that this match could absolutely rule. I know no ridiculous over the top stuff. Just let these guys work for 10 to 15 minutes and watch them change wrestling. Brad, this was my match of the night. This is absolutely going to be a match that we are going to discuss in December. I love everything about this. I texted you after this match that I needed a cigarette break because my God, this was the most if I remember one of your terms, this was one of the most bonkers spectacles I've ever seen. These guys were all gas, no breaks. There were so many spots, Brad, that my jaw was on the floor. I popped huge. This match was incredible. I love this match so much. I will be rewatching this at some point. Every dude delivered. Brody King looked like an absolute monster.
Yes, he did.
I always tell you, Ray Phoenix and Pac, I think are if you told me you think those are the two best wrestlers in the world, I would have no issue with that. Penta was great. Buddy Matthews finally got to look like the star he is. And I thought Malachi Black was fantastic as the leader of this group as well. This was my match of the night. I thought it was amazing. What did you think?
I don't know if it was my match of the night, but I can't think of. I don't know if I have a match of the night. There were several things like this one for the in-ring work. Darby and Kyle O'Reilly was incredible. Hangman and Punk had the best psychology of the night. So I have loves for different reasons. This match though was almost flawless. Like it was everything you would want because everything sort of made sense for the most part. I love that they treated Brody like a monster. There wasn't a lot of no selling. I know they do the thing with like Ray will take a huge bump and then come back and do something crazy and then collapse to the ground. They actually did that in the Jade match. Anna Jay did that. She got up and then she fell and it was really weird. It was really awkward. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, I think even the setup for the Avalanche Jaded.
Oh,
still, I remember they did it with Ruby.
Yeah,
Ruby took it from Jade, and then Anna Jay took it tonight. The setup for it still doesn't.
Bad.
I'm fine with just a regular Jaded. I don't need an Avalanche Jaded.
Right, and I know they're breaking it out because it's the pay-per-view and spectacle and stuff, but it's clunky. It takes forever. It looks unsafe. It's just us wincing instead of us going like, "Oh, it's happening."
And you clearly have the cooperation of your opponent, which, like,
it's why I
against
don't like that
suspension of disbelief. Yeah,
the Tour of the Islands by Jade. Well, that's what I want.
Yeah,
that's the move she should be using on everybody. Yeah,
that's it.
Because she fills the entire ring. She's so tall. It's awesome. So I would like to see that. But for this match, the only spot that I thought didn't quite work was Brody killing himself on that tope.
I was going to say, Brad, this better be your match of the night because we nearly got a Brody King tope suicida. And I know that was not on your double.
It wasn't a suicida, though. It was a con hero, right? Like he was supposed to.
That's right.
He jumped
he was trying to.
But he landed back first onto the apron and then his legs just took out everybody. So it still worked. Yeah. But it didn't work the way he intended. And it was funny in the moment. But then he got up and yelled, and then I was immediately afraid. So he's a big, strong monster of a man. He looked great.
This with the face paint.
This all was so good. Every bit of this was incredible. But I don't know, man. Like hard to argue against this match of the night. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, no, man. I'm glad I have your support on this. I'm curious where these two teams go from here. I think House of Black is obviously in great shape for Death Triangle. I'll be curious to see if they stay together or even if this feud were to continue. Frankly, I don't know that it needs to, Brad. I think I've had my fill of this spooky rivalry. I'm good there, but particularly for Pac. I mean, every time I see this match, I'm just reminded how special of a worker this guy is. I think Phoenix and Penta will be fine because I think they're just made stars in the company. For Pac, though, it just seems to me like he's – I don't want to just throw the term underutilized around, but to me, this guy is championship material. Yeah. I think he brings it with his promos. Do you remember when he was cutting promos, I think, from England? Yes. Particularly during the pandemic from Scotland. Thank you. Yeah.
But that's part of the reason I think he's not as used because he is living full time in Scotland and working AEW.
Good call.
So I think just his availability, I know he was supposed to be here for a couple of things and he wasn't able to get out. Probably the same issues that Sheeta was running into, couldn't get medical clearance and then therefore couldn't come back in time. So that's the part that I think until COVID is more or less resolved, whatever that means. I think that Pac will probably be just too unreliable to put into a major program, but he should always be in major programs around them at least. Even if it's in trios or in tag or whatever, always have him there. But I'm with you, man. Like I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully we get Penta back to normal and get rid of this.
You're not a fan. Yeah.
Stupid grave. It's so stupid. Like, what are we doing there? Like, he's dead now. He's got a child, but he's dead. By the way, that was my favorite part of this entire thing.
Yeah, that was an awesome
Yeah, Baby Penta
not
coming
spot,
out.
but yeah, awesome cameo, I think is
Yeah,
the word I'm looking
it's
for.
incredible.
The entrances were great here. The in-ring work was just
Oh my
phenomenal.
god, the
I
House
would
of Black entrance.
the sheer the House of Black entrance, the sheer cardiac prowess of these men, Brad. I go on the treadmill 1 mile, I'm ready to get off the treadmill. Brad, these guys, what was the timestamp on here that we got? 15 minutes and 35
15:35
seconds.
of just sprinting.
It was an absolute sprint. It was a thing of
Yeah.
beauty. I'll say it again, we will be discussing this match in December. 1000%.
Buddy Matthews,
Star.
First of all, star. Number one, look at him. Number two, watch his work. Number three, holy shit, did he get beat up in this match? That dude was taking blows.
Taking bumps. Yes.
Yeah. This was great. This is a distraction finish, but it was perfect. It told the story. We had a great build for this feud. Hopefully, this is the end of it. Maybe they get a female wrestler to join with Death Triangle and make it Death Square. And then they go and do. Maybe they are the ones that end up in Blood and Guts. Who knows? I hope not, because I think that doesn't work.
I didn't consider that. Yeah,
it doesn't really work for me. It's not big enough for Blood and Guts. It's just not. Like, we know the work's going to be good, but it's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know the. I guess it's you don't have Jericho level promo work trying to build this thing up, where it's like, or Eddie Kingston coming out and saying stuff. That's what that needs to fuel a Blood and Guts match. We need some bigger, larger than life personalities. House of Black is intentionally subdued, and Malachi is threatening by the way he's calm, and that's not Blood and Guts. And then we're just gonna have Alex translate until we're angry. We don't need that. So, but we might end up with a 4-on-4 tag at some point. With 3 men and 1 woman on the side. I don't know where this goes. I'm kind of done with the feud. I'd like House of Black to move on. So one of the 3 men that are in the stable can get some gold, or at least be in a program. Malachi Black should have been, man, there's like 5 people on this roster that should have straps at this point.
Yeah, it's tough, man. This roster is so loaded. Malachi Black being inserted into the TNT scene, I would have no issue with that. But I love you mentioning Julia Blackheart now. I hope we get to see her in the ring and just see her blossom as a part of this group.
The next 2 matches on the card are the finals for the Owen tournament. Number 1, Adam Cole defeated Samoa Joe in a very good match, 12 minutes and 30 seconds long. It made sense. There was the attacking of the limbs. Joe is really mindful of selling his body parts and remembering like what's going on in the match. I think taping up those parts isn't just a visual, it's a reminder for the wrestlers. So it's my guess is this is the arm that's injured, not the other one, where the K-tape all over Adam Cole is probably because Adam Cole's shoulder hurts. Where Joe's wrap around the elbow was clearly a prop. But I really like this match. Samoa Joe getting Adam Cole up for the Muscle Buster, almost getting him up there. I was like, oh man, Samoa's going to win this. And they totally swerved me. So I liked it. Bobby Fish, of course, comes out. There's distractions. Adam Cole lowers the boom. He wins 1, 2, 3. Like we talked about, this is what we predicted. His injuries were probably going to be. I figured it would have been Jay Lethal coming out. Or Singh or Sanjay or somebody coming out to do distraction. But nonetheless, there was a distraction finish. Adam Cole wins. What'd you think?
Yeah, very, very predictable. A well-worked match. As you said, I really thought we were going to get Jay Lethal and company interference. I'm glad that we did it. Fine to see Bobby Fish, maybe a bit too predictable in that regard. And, Samoa Joe being a veteran, I just feel like the veterans of this industry should never fall for any sort of distraction or be injured or compromised by their opponent's confidant being there, because they've just been there, done that, so to speak. But predictable, good win for Cole. You need to. We spoke about this on the prediction show for Double or Nothing, Brad. You need to have Adam Cole do something of value and something noteworthy. We know, we've said this so many times, Brad, we know we're going to get the trios match eventually, Undisputed Elite versus the Elite once Kenny Omega comes back, hopefully sooner than later, question mark. But in the meantime, this is one of your biggest players. This is one of the most over talents on your roster. So I'm completely cool with this. Thought the match was well worked. And like you said, Adam Cole picked up the 1, 2, 3. I think this might be Samoa Joe's first official loss in the company, was it not? I think it was 5-0 heading into this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
So
don't think he's lost. Yeah.
Nice notch on Adam Cole's belt to get the victory.
All of his beatdowns occurred after the bell. I was just going through my head with all these things, all these different people, all the people that he's beaten. Adam Cole needs to have something important to do. It helps build him. He's lost and lost and lost in big spots. He finally won. This is great, which is why I don't love the outcome of the next match. Britt winning against Ruby Soho is fine because it was a surprise. I think we didn't predict this. I don't know that anybody did, but Ruby needed the win. Ruby in AEW needed the win. She needed to do something important. So far, she's lost TBS tournaments. She's lost TBS title matches. She's lost the Owen tournament. She's just lost in big spots. I'm not faulting that for anything. Like if she's not the person to take the strap, she's not the person to take the strap. Maybe there's plans down the road for her. I have no idea what the plan is for her, but what do you do with Ruby now going forward? Ruby did win the night though. She got played out by Rancid, which had to have been one of the coolest moments in the world for her.
That was a great look. I'm so happy that the women's tournament final for the Owen got the pay-per-view entrances. That made my heart so happy. I also did pop for the Fozzy guitarist. I don't remember the guy's name. He was absolutely
shredding it. Yeah.
Just shredding the guitar, making the best use of the 2 to 3 minutes he got of camera time. He was he was just the confidence, the utilization of the screen time was incredibly impressive. I agree with you though, Brad. I really enjoyed this match. I'm a good match. I'm a big fan of both of these women. I mean, it was cool that Ruby didn't fall victim to the lockjaw again, right? We know Ruby's smart and clearly did all of her research heading into this match because she wanted it badly. So that was cool.
Well, there's no Jamie Hayter at ringside.
Exactly. Exactly. And no chance of interference as we worried about in Arthur Ashe when these two fought for the first time. But like you, Brad, it may seem silly now because, of course, if Adam Cole wins, you would think Britt Baker wins. They both had pink gear, which you pointed out. You kind of knew that was a good sign for them. Of course, having them with Dr. Martha Hart, it just makes so much sense. But maybe I picked this match with my heart, Brad, because I really thought Ruby was taking it for the exact reason you alluded to, that leaving this pay-per-view, what is next for Ruby? Maybe there will be something of substance, but I just had my heart set for her on winning the Owen, that being her crowning moment so far in the company. And then maybe she's pole vaulted to a Thunder Rosa match. Who knows? Now, I'm not sure where she goes.
Yeah, I have no idea. Martha Hart came after this, awarded the title belts and the Owen Cup to the respective winners. The belts are great. They are a shout out to Stampede Wrestling's title, the old NWA belts, pretty incredible. When I saw them come out, I was like, why does that look familiar to me? I know I've seen it before, and it's because I've looked up belts many times going like, what was the greatest belt in history? And for me, it always comes back to the big gold belt. But that belt is probably one of the coolest belts in AEW, if not the coolest. I really like the pink leather or the black leather with the highlights and stuff. It's pretty sweet. That moment with Martha out there and the Owen chants, the thank you Martha chants, Awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Very, very positive energy, which was all sucked away for me by the next match on the card. Man, I not here for this Dynamite main event. Rampage main event pre-taped. For Paige Van Zant's
Had to throw in
debut
the
match.
pre-taped.
I didn't care about this.
Sure.
They tried to make it important by UFC belts getting stolen, but unless you're watching the UFC, nobody cares. I understand why they did it. There's a huge overlap between MMA and pro wrestling, giant overlap. A lot of people that are MMA fans also watch professional wrestling, vice versa. So I totally understand why. I thought it was cool. They had Masvidal's belt, the BMF. I thought that was kind of cool. That stuff got stolen. I know some of that stuff, but I don't really. Those weren't stakes. Those aren't wrestling belts. Those are legit Ultimate Fighting belts that have nothing to do with what we're watching. And it's just like, for the love of all that's good, would some wrestler at some point call the goddamn cops when this stuff happens? Like, that's what I want that to happen. Be like, no, that was a B&E. It was a clear B&E. You stole my property. It's millions of dollars. I'm filing a report. I am pressing charges, and you're going to go to prison for 2 years. Like, that's what I want to happen. And then they have to like legal their way out of it. I think that would be amazing. Smart Mark Sterling on the case, they have a trial.
You have an in-house lawyer. Yeah.
I think it could be different. It could be kind of fun to see how it plays out, but it's like, you watch them on video break into that place, shatter the glass.
The evidence was everywhere. Yeah. Fingerprints everywhere. It's recorded.
Like they're admitting to it. They're like, I just took your stuff. And it's like, all right, well, I mean, their names are underneath like
if you're looking for these suspects, we know they're going to be at the T-Mobile Arena this Sunday.
No brainer, man. Like, I would love to see that. I was like, this is so stupid. Sammy Guevara smashed a belt. There was another belt. I don't know why this was a thing. Absolutely stupid. The Ty Conti Sammy Guevara making out. I don't mind that for a couple of seconds. You know, that's going to piss the crowd off, but it kept going on and on and on to the point where I was uncomfortable. And then it happened again and again and again in the match. At one point where Sammy was trying to kiss her and she was just sucking wind. She was wrestling and he came in. Did you notice that? He's like trying to do the makeout thing and she's like, her mouth is just open. Like, I'm trying to breathe, and Sammy's trying to go in for the kill. And it's just like, I was just like, just let her get her breath, dude. I know you're trying to get heat, but like, she's going to die. Like, it was absolutely terrible. And there was I hated this. I like all the talent so much. I love that Ethan got in a ton of offense. Love that. Paige looked like she had never wrestled in a match before. She looked like she's been training. Her best part was she did something that I wish Ronda Rousey would do, coming from MMA and going into the wrestling world. She threw the best punch I have ever seen, ever, to a midsection on a wrestling show.
The one to Sammy, right?
Holy
to a dude.
Shit, that was perfect.
Yeah.
I want that because Ty Conti uses her Brazilian striking all the time in the corner with those kicks and knees.
Mm-hmm.
Paige should be doing that stuff, like throwing that punch. I want to see her do that on people. The throws are cool, but it's like she's doing the new wrestler thing. I'll do a move and then I'll stand up and put my arms up and get a pop from the crowd. And I get why. She's going to need a bunch of reps and I think she's going to be great. But more striking from Paige, please, because that was awesome. That was great. I didn't think the match was any kind of bad. I just didn't care about it. I feel like we've been seeing this for 3 months.
Yeah, you hit all the points, my dude. On one hand, I'm really happy that these talents got a spot on the card. I was lamenting or trying to wax poetic about the injustice that was the TNT belt not being on the card, Scorpio Sky not being on the card. But I guess Tony Khan is a listener of gimmick infringement, Brad, because we got this match added. Like you said, unquestionably a Rampage main event, but happy they got the spot. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here with Frankie Kazarian, and then separately, because I think they'll clearly split ways with Sammy and Ty. I think it's clear that they're being built as the obnoxious heel couple on the show, which I believe could lead them to a decent spot consistently on the card. But like the makeout sessions, the repeated makeout sessions, it was just laying it on a little bit too thick for my taste. Scorpio got the victory, though. Like you said, Ethan got some shine. Thought Paige Van Zandt looked good. They didn't ask her to do too much in this match.
Yeah.
So I was, for what it was, fine with it. But like you said, on a nearly 5-hour show, this absolutely could have been expendable. Could have been Rampage main event worthy.
It didn't need to be on there, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, this is Double or Nothing. I don't want to see this on Double or Nothing. My $50 went to see American Top Team. Do you think this is a draw for anybody?
It's never. We know it's never a draw. Going back to the Minneapolis street fight.
Like, I think there's probably a bunch of people from Vegas that were like, "Oh, cool, Dane Lambert's here," that pay attention to fighting and gambling during fights and stuff like that. But that, like, again, MMA is a huge draw, and there is a ton of overlap. I just don't care about this. It's not for me. Might be for somebody else. Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin, incredible match. I loved this. The only spot that I didn't love is when I thought Darby died on that first suicide dive. It kind of looked like he was supposed to hit it, but he did that spot that happened later too early. It's because you have to go in low so Kyle could grab him in the headlock, and it looked like that's what he did. Is he went low, and Kyle was expecting him to go high and to catch him. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. I don't know for sure, but
that's assumed.
But I thought this match was great. It made sense. They beat the piss out of each other. Like, holy crap. Kyle up on the top rope when Darby was doing his palm strikes. I love they call them palm strikes and not just slaps. Darby slapped the taste out of his mouth up there.
Yes.
And you can see Kyle just mouth F when he's up there after getting hit. It was so funny.
Yeah, very snug.
Yeah, but I really liked this. I think Kyle O'Reilly looks like a smaller dude, but when you put him up against Darby, that is not a small dude. That is a big dude. Nope. And I loved this match. I thought this was easily up to this point my match of the night.
Wow.
But it doesn't get my match of the night because it had hardly any build. The other match was much better. The House of Black against Death Triangle was great because of all the spots and because of all the moments. The best part about that was them reminding you in the match without saying a word how well they know each other by simply stopping and pumping the brakes for the stare downs. Right?
How did we not? I'm over here battling a cold and a runny nose. Forgive me, viewers of the pod. Brad, how did we not talk about that when we were discussing that trios match? The stopping, the first one with Rey Fenix mocking Malachi Black, doing the sitting pose, and then Malachi.
Oh my God, so good!
Huge pop in Glendale, Arizona, Brad.
Yeah,
huge,
thunderous here in Marana.
So effing cool. Oh my gosh!
But that's why I think. But that's what I mean about that match. That match was incredible because of the moments within the match, not necessarily
they knew each
the
other.
Match itself.
Sure, it
just all made sense. All the interactions made sense. But so did this. This was, as a singles match, this was as good as it got on the card. This match was amazing. Really good. I was surprised at how much technical wrestling was in it.
Don't sleep on Darby's technical wrestling.
His match with MJF that we thought
I was just about to say he's not just a stunt man.
That the pin counters in that match I still laugh about that. Yeah. It was so good. And they're just rolling around the ring.
It was the match of Full Gear.
It was so good. I want to go back and watch that.
I think MJF sends that tape to Tony and says, "Tony, pay me. Look, I'm having consistent matches of the night."
Let's pump the brakes here. I want to break in with this before we move on to the women's belt. So I have two things I'm going to say. Number one, the second half of the card starts with the turd, the American Top Team match, but then it goes Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin, Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb,
banger,
Anarchy in the Arena,
unbelievable,
the trios tag match, the main
Very
event.
good.
And that's why I'm like, this was the second half is better, because the first half,
I mean, with the title matches, it's hard to argue that.
Wardlow and MJF,
Yeah.
we knew what was going to happen there.
True.
The Hardys and the Young Bucks was a lot of fun, really good match. Jade and Anna Jay, fine.
The post match is what really
it was the post match that makes it a lot bigger. Then we had the potential match of the year, an Adam Cole Samoa Joe match, which I thought was very good, but I didn't think it was great. It didn't blow me away. Same with Britt and Ruby, didn't blow me away. The ending was really disappointing. And then
you raise a compelling case here.
So like, I don't know if there needs to be a better half. I just feel like it picked up with the surprise that was Kyle O'Reilly and Darby Allin, because we had that American Top Team thing where it was a heel match, and I don't know if the crowd really knew how to react. And then we got to Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin, and the crowd knew exactly how to react. And I think the right person won, because Darby doesn't need to win. Darby's taken a lot of L's, but Darby is like that. He's bulletproof.
He's bulletproof. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, quite literally. Like the dude just keeps showing up every week. Brad, I'll say two things here, because I know we probably don't want this to be a 2-hour episode, but certainly going to be 90, I think. Yeah, man. So what's interesting to me are two things here. One, I did not expect Kyle O'Reilly to win whatsoever. I was completely shocked when he hit that signature knee from the top rope to Darby Allin's back. 1, 2, 3.
Stiff.
That was probably that was my biggest surprise of the night in terms of match outcomes. Even ahead of a match we'll discuss here shortly. I did not expect that. Second observation, I am very not surprised, but it's interesting to me that these were the two matches that were added at the last minute, so to speak, to Double or Nothing. The American Top Team intergender trios match, and then this one. But your feelings, and I think a lot of our listeners and viewers' feelings about these two matches are probably night and day. The one that preceded this with American Top Team, again, we want to put that on Rampage. For this one, you didn't just like this match, my guy. You said this was potentially your match of the night. And we shouldn't be that surprised, because these two are incredible workers. It's just so interesting to me how, like, it was they're similar in that the build for both, not the build. We necessarily didn't need these on this pay-per-view, but this one, you are leaving the show saying, man, this is a contender for my match of the night. And it sounds like you don't want this on Rampage. You thought this deserved to be on the card, given the work that was produced.
I mean, it deserves to be on the card, but it shouldn't have been. So I still feel like we got one of the best matches of the night, and it should have been on Dynamite. That one.
But you need Darby on the card.
Darby needs to be on the card.
He needs to be, or
Darby at least needs to be on the show. I don't know if Darby needs to be on the card, but we didn't get. I can't remember because something happened with the dog. I had to leave. So did Sting come out with Darby?
No.
Okay, so we had no Sting here. We've had Sting at almost every. We've had him on every pay-per-view since he debuted. So I thought it was weird that we didn't get Sting at all. And I don't know why. I doubt there's anything there, but this should have been on a Dynamite. I have no problem saying that. The build was weak sauce. But CM Punk said in an interview, I saw somebody tweeted out that Darby Allin will get told like an hour before he has to go wrestle on Dynamite or whatever, that he's going to be doing this thing, and he'll go out there and do the best that he possibly can and end up putting out a banger every single time. So that's what we got with Kyle O'Reilly, who also can obviously do that with Darby Allin. And I'm so glad they both got that match, because it was great. Those two have awesome chemistry with each other. But Darby seems to have chemistry with everybody. I haven't seen a bad Darby match. He had chemistry with Miro.
Yeah. Again, which is
12 times the size of that man.
Exactly. Which is why I do think, although we almost had a 5-hour pay-per-view, I do think it's a wise move by Tony Khan and company to ensure that you're having the pillars, right, on your show. So Sammy Guevara got on the show. Darby Allin, who maybe one could argue is a level above Sammy in terms of star power on the roster.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
work rate wise, Sammy is just as good as Darby. Personally, that's my opinion.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
Star power wise,
it's Darby.
It was looking like, oh man, this is going to be a show without Darby. But if you're AEW, you can't, even though you're signing all these people, you can't forget Darby Allin is a very unique presence and was one of your foundational pieces to open this company. So yeah, man, I'm so happy he's on here. I did not expect Kyle O'Reilly to win, but he did, and this match was so good.
Yeah, and I know that the reason that it got added was because Tony didn't want he said flatly the main event will air after the Celtics Heat game. And I think when he was timing it out, he saw that it's probably going to end up being at the end of the fourth quarter. So he added a little over 20 minutes worth of match time, plus the transitions in the promos before. So it was probably about a half an hour extra that got added for two matches that just simply didn't need to be there.
I heard him say that on the AEW Unrestricted podcast.
Right, exactly.
That's a great point you brought up, my guy.
So I know why they did it. It was probably going to end up being a main event of Dynamite or Rampage or definitely on the show. Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin, that makes perfect sense to have on the weekly TV. It's just, if it's a pay-per-view, it's got to be a build and a blow off for something it's been coming to a head. And now we have the pay-per-view where people get to see the end of the storyline, or potentially the storyline shifting so that we can get to a final conclusion. Like Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb's been building for weeks. So we get to see it at the pay-per-view. She's the number one contender. Let's go see this match. That was our next match. I thought this match was great. This is an awesome match, man.
Thunder Rosa's best match so far.
Totally agreed. I
needed it.
We said it going into it. At least I said it. I've been kind of tough on how bad the promos and stuff have been. And I know you agree, but you're much nicer.
That's our dynamic.
They've just been ass.
Yeah.
But we knew what they were going to do once they were in the ring. And that's exactly what they did. They totally delivered. This match ruled. I loved it. It was almost 17 minutes long, and it was an absolutely great match. So much fun. Wasn't match of the night for me, but it was definitely up there in the top matches.
Same. This would get my honorable mention, or not honorable mention. This would, in fact, I would say, be my second choice for match of the night. I loved it that much. This was fantastic. Thunder Rosa with the pay-per-view gear.
Oh my God, all the transitions.
I was here for the transitions, the submissions. This was the best I've seen Thunder Rosa look. I think even pre-title reign. I'm trying to think back.
No, I agree.
Sands Lights Out match with Britt, which is it's in its own category. This is the best I've seen Thunder Rosa in a long time in this company. I was so happy that they delivered in this spot. Serena Deeb looked great. I did not think she had a chance to win the belt, but yet I found myself, on the 2.5s thinking, oh man, maybe the professor is leaving with gold. I love this. My second choice, second place for me for match of the night.
Serenity Lock, man.
Serenity Lock. Ouch.
I was just immediately
the Tequila
like,
Sunrise.
Shit,
Yeah. They laid their stuff in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This was a blast, man. I really, so much fun. This absolutely met my expectations. This is exactly what I thought they were going to do.
Likewise, this is Thunder Rosa's best match for me. I think probably since that first Sheeta match when she was still NWA champ. That was my favorite Thunder Rosa match outside of the Lights Out match. But I don't think of Thunder Rosa in that match. I think of Britt Baker in that match, even though Thunder Rosa made that match happen. So
and she needed it. I think Thunder Rosa really. I think Thunder Rosa and this championship.
This was a signature win for her.
Yes, and for the belt, I think just the luster and prestige of the women's title. I think they needed to deliver a banger here, and both these women did.
Who do you think she gets next?
You beat me to it. I was going to ask you that as well. Who is Thunder Rosa facing at All Out? I want to say Toni Storm. Maybe it's just a face versus face match. I don't see who else is slated to be that next challenger. I don't think they're going to run Britt Baker versus Rosa that soon. I'm going to go Tony. How about you?
It might do Britt, but it would have to be a triple threat.
I was going to say, this seems like it's maybe time for a triple threat.
Yeah,
I don't even remember when the
way
last triple threat we got for the belt was, if ever.
In AEW, I don't remember because it's usually not how it works. Yeah. So maybe they can do a thing where they go like, well, the number 1 and number 2 ranked contenders are going to wrestle to see who has the number 1 spot. Mm-hmm. And then TK says, well, you're tied. So triple threat time.
Yeah, I would be here for Britt v Tony v Rosette all out.
I think that would be awesome. Because then there's the threat of Tony pinning Britt or Britt pinning Tony. I think that could be really good. I don't know, man. This next match might have to be the match of the night because of how unbelievably batshit crazy it was.
This was wild.
The Anarchy in the Arena match. I'm not going to read all the people that were in this. This match was insane. This is at the first 5 minutes of this match. I was like, I'm not enjoying this because there's so many camera cuts. I don't know what's going on. But then I just sort of got used to it, and then I was like,
and okay, Wild Thing is playing in the background for some reason.
ADHD nightmare.
Can I just tell you, I was not enjoying this as well, and I love Wild Thing. Yeah. I was not enjoying Wild Thing continuously playing. It gave me vibes of, was it not Finn Balor and Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules? I think maybe The Fiend versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. Do you remember when The Fiend was a thing, first of all, and when they had the red lights during his matches? Yes. And I think for the Hell in a Cell, they may have had music in the background. I could be making this up, but I thought they had music in the background. We missed The Fiend.
Yes.
Brad, the first 5 minutes were not a great time for me either. I actually loathed them playing Wild Thing. It was not the jam for me.
I know what they were doing. The Wild Thing was for the people in the arena. It was not for people watching. And that works if you're there live, because when it started over again, the crowd popped huge. It started playing again and everybody was like, yeah, we're getting more. And I was like,
for sure.
And my reaction was, God damn it. Like,
it's too much. I didn't want to hear it.
And I actually was like, everybody was booing Jericho when he smashed the deck, but I was like, oh, thank God he smashed that thing. And it stopped.
At home, we were rejoicing.
I was like, you're not a heel at all. You're saving us. Even though I love that song, I love Mox, I love all those guys. I wanted them to win. Didn't think they would. But I don't know, man. I saw the cleanup crew afterward with mops and biohazard bags. So Daddy Magic bled all over that arena.
Early as well. Early. By the end of Wild Thing, I think it was Crimson Mask.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I thought this was a ton of fun. There were a lot of great spots, a lot of great moments. Eddie Kingston, very seriously bleeding, holding a can of gasoline, coming down to the ring, and just, I'm going to kill Chris Jericho so much that I don't care if I splash it all over Brian. I don't care. Yeah.
I think Danielson had legit beef there.
Yeah. And then ultimately costing the match.
Yeah. Made sense.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought Danielson had a moment, man, that was a incredible moment where he just said it, and now I'm going to kick his effing head in. And screamed it like passionately and believing it. Like, I didn't, for a second when he yelled that, I wasn't like, oh, that's a fun line. I was like, oh shit, he's going to kill him. Like, that was my thought. Like, the look at his face was like, he is going to hurt this man.
Well, and I got to hear your thoughts at some point on the gear for each of these respective teams. For me, seeing Danielson in the cut off muscle shirt and the pants was absolutely jarring.
The best part was that it was still the plain white tee.
It was the plain white tee. He never wears his own merch.
No, incredible. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I loved it. I thought I could not stop laughing when the Jericho Appreciation Society came out. Amazing. And then Garcia with a do-rag.
Yes.
That got me. Yeah,
man. So the do-rag and everyone having the Kangles, the all white, the Backstreet Boys Millennium album look. It was everything we needed.
Yeah, it was perfect. Like, they were so scummy and just so gross, and everything about it made me laugh. I'm kind of mad we didn't get a fireball from the wizard, but but I thought this was fun. It was what we predicted. We was going to rule. The crowd was going crazy for this match. It was all over the arena. It really was. And lots and lots of bleeding happening. Bloodborne Pathogen City, but I thought it was a really good match for what it was. Totally entertaining, absolute blast outside of, like we talked about, the first 5.
100%. And I think this clearly sets us up for a potential blood and guts
obviously.
main event when Danielson and Kingston will hopefully be on the same page. And that's when I think they get their receipt, so to speak.
Or they fight for who gets to be in the match. Eddie versus
true.
Danielson, and then Wheeler Yuta's the other one.
Very true.
So like we don't have enough people, or unless Jericho Appreciation gets another person. Yeah. And then maybe it changes, but we'll see.
These are all options, and I can assure you I'll be watching, my friend.
The 3-way tag is up next. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus shockingly retained the titles against Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, and against Team Taz, Diet Team Taz, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks. Because we know the other member of Team Taz is in Hookhausen.
Diet Team Taz. I like that. I'm never going to say that to Powerhouse Hobbs' face. But for gimmick infringement purposes, I like that name.
He could kill me with his pinky. But
greatest traps I've ever seen in my life.
God.
Good Lord.
I love this. This was fun.
Yeah.
I did not expect the outcome at all, but there were a lot of great spots in this. Everybody got their big spots in. I wasn't mad that they retained. I just who's next? Because FTR is the next ranked team, and after that, it's a lot of the same people they've already defended against. So I'm not really sure where they go from here with Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus. I don't know who the people are to take the belts. I would not be upset. Obviously, I would not be upset if FTR were the ones to beat them. I think that could be really good to have a babyface FTR title run. Could be really fun. But I don't know. I don't know what they do. Maybe they have other plans in the future. Maybe it's Danielson and Moxley. I don't know. We'll see. What did you think about this match?
Well, the AEW purist in me does appreciate that the belts are still on a team that's been there from the first day. I told you, Brad, going into this match, I don't think I texted you this, but I had this feeling that, man, these guys may retain the belts, because I don't know that Swerve in their glory or Diet Team Taz necessarily needed the belts. I don't know that we came into this match thinking it is their time. They are destined to have these belts right now in Las Vegas. I mean, it would be cool, but I don't know that they needed it. So it was just making a lot of sense to me. And then we saw you and I talked about Jungle Boy's gear and how it was total pay-per-view winner gear. Just point being, all the signs were telling me like, oh man, maybe my prediction was just completely wrong. The match was a blast. This, although it's not in my top 2 for match of the night, I thought this completely delivered, especially given the spot it was in, the unfortunate spot to be sandwiched in between Anarchy and the main event. Not an enviable spot whatsoever. I thought the match was so good. It didn't need to be perfect. Not every move needed to be completely well executed. This was just a slugfest, and I love all of the dynamics between these 6 men. I love that we got the meaty men slapping meat portion of the match. I think I tend to be higher on Luchasaurus than others. I'm glad that he got his moment. Keith Lee looked like a star. Powerhouse Hobbs was awesome, and all of their partners were as well. This match was so good. Definitely in my upper half if I'm kind of power ranking the matches on this card. This is exactly what I thought it was going to be, and like you, I am fairly surprised that the champs retained, and I don't know who their next challenger is. If I were to throw that question back at you, who do you think, presuming that they walk into All Out as champs, what do you think the match is? We can't get another 3-way tag at the August pay-per-view, right?
No, FTR. Also, if they're champs at that point, probably not FTR. They're too highly ranked. No idea. Can't predict that far out. Probably might even be a team we haven't seen yet.
I was going to say, who knows, right?
It could be Andrade and Rush. So
Yeah, we saw those two tonight. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see. It could be Private Party. I have no idea. Long way out for that. We still have Forbidden Door in the meantime. For all I know, they're dropping the belts to somebody in New Japan.
We have a Christian heel turn.
Yeah, that's incoming. Yeah,
probably
which is going to
maybe costing them the titles. Maybe
God, that's going to be so fun. Christian as a heel is so good. So, I wanted to say that after last week we were talking about potentially this is the end of Jurassic Express. Maybe Jungle Boy does some stuff. This was Luchasaurus's, for me, the best match I've seen him do in AEW. I absolutely loved what he did in this match. It looked good. It looked like he was trying to win the match and not trying to play in a spot. And that's always been my criticism of him when I'm watching. It's like, my God, it's so impressive what he's able to do, but my God, do I have to watch him set it up? It doesn't look like he's doing a thing. It's like, look around. Okay, now I have to get to my spot. And then he does his thing. This just looked like he was trying to win. And I thought that was awesome. Yeah, he looked great out there.
That Thoracic Express on Swerve
boy
to win the match.
Good God.
that was the snuggest Thoracic Express I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not convinced there's not a dent in the ring.
Yeah. That was gnarly. That was one of my favorite finishes actually of the night. That was just well done.
Speaking of finishing the night off here, CM Punk defeats Hangman Adam Page to become the new AEW World Champion. I am sad that Hangman's no longer the champ. His title reign was incredible. It's also the right move. I think CM Punk having the belt at this point makes perfect sense. Tyler, if you could go back in time 1 year from today and you could tell yourself CM Punk May 29th was going to be world champion in AEW, would you believe it?
There's no chance. No way.
Yeah.
No
we
way.
We were still reeling. We were still reeling because we're like, I can't believe Sting is in AEW.
I know, right? And then, by the way, you're going to get Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson as well.
Yes.
In the same night, mind you.
Yes, and never mind that Keith Lee and Swerve are coming.
I was going to say, yes. We also got some much needed diversity too.
Yeah,
wild. What a time we're living in.
My God, like this
surreal.
So
really.
Good.
Yeah.
In terms of the match, I thought this match was great. I thought it was a great championship match. It was a great match. Everything made sense. The psychology all made sense. I thought the pacing was pretty good. It was 25 minutes long. It was slow to start. Lots of stopping. I didn't love that, but AEW does a lot with, they got to come to Tucson or Phoenix. The AEW does a lot with live crowds. They play off the crowd. They interact with the crowd, which doesn't always translate to a home screen. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't always translate. So when there's a lot of the turning around and doing the arms up stuff and trying to get a reaction from the crowd, that's fine if you're there. But otherwise, we're watching you constantly stopping to react with the crowd. And it's like, stop. You're doing heel stuff. That's good when MJF does it. I don't want to see the two baby faces in the ring doing it. So it was a little too much for me with that stuff. But other than that, I thought this match ruled. Everything made sense. I loved all the counters, all the transitions were so good. I liked the finish. I saw people complaining about it online. People are going to complain. It made perfect sense to me. What did you think?
Yeah. Same here. So much of my energy in this match was, for better or worse, dedicated to figuring out how this was going to end. Because I really had my heart set on CM Punk winning this match. I thought it was going to be by nefarious means. So I did too.
I thought it was a heel turn.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, it was funny. I knew that ref bump was coming. You could just sort of see. I forget what the name of the ref that was. It wasn't Paul Turner. I could be wrong.
It wasn't Remsburg, was it?
It was not Remsburg. No, it was the dude with like the.
I can't remember.
Yeah, like the Buff Bagwell type haircut. Anyway, I just knew. I think it might be Paul Turner. I could be wrong.
It must be Paul, because it's Paul, Bryce, Edwards.
Bryce is
and then Kyoto.
Yeah, my love the Kyoto.
That was awesome. Yeah.
my point is that I could just see that a ref bump was coming, and so I was just trying to enjoy the moment and not just think about how is this thing going to end, and sort of processing the options that were going on in my head. I thought the ending was actually really great. I
Yes.
was not disappointed with the lack of CM Punk cheating, right? He did not cheat. The fact that Hangman had that internal battle again, that's so much of what his character has been based on. It's
Yes.
just him
Yeah.
figuring out who he is.
Yeah.
So for him to have that belt and look like he was going to peg Punk with it, but then say, you know what? No, that's not me. Let me go out. Let me set up for the buckshot. And then that leads to his downfall and his loss. Thought it was beautiful. I don't need CM Punk to ever attempt a buckshot lariat again. Leave it to Hangman, please. That seems like a very difficult move to pull off. That Hangman makes he makes it look effortless,
Very fluid. He doesn't stop
very
and then start again. He just goes.
Yeah. I can't hate on Punk too much because I don't know. I've never attempted a buckshot lariat, but I think that mine would look very similar to Punk's attempts, maybe even worse.
I did a somersault onto the bed wrestling with Freya the other day,
I didn't know about this.
I was dizzy for like 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So
the ages happen. So like thinking about
yeah.
Punk, who's a little older than I am, not much older, but a little bit older, jumping over that thing and then slinging his arm at another human being. I could barely get up after I did that. So
and this would be me just attempting it once. Meanwhile, this man did it, 10, 15 minutes into a brutal match. And frankly, I believe he attempted the buckshot, at least one of them, after he took that pop-up power bomb onto the apron.
Boy.
So Punk has my full respect because I don't think I would be able to move after taking that. I'm just done for the night. Please call room service. I'm out. I'm out, bro. This match was a blast.
Hopefully Hangman's knee is actually okay. He did look like he took a rough landing.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's doing okay. But I really like this. This is a good way to finish the show. Except Tyler, let's do a rundown before we run down all of our bad picks for the DraftKings pool, which I did not actually get to submit my picks on time for the main show. I was like, I got to do that. And apparently once the show starts, you can't put in your picks, even though nothing had happened yet. So I was bummed I didn't get to do that, but I did get it in for the championship match, much to my chagrin. So before we say this, I did want to say this. MJF, I find it totally gross that people, and I'm a big Tony Khan supporter, but I find it totally gross that people aren't supporting the talent, that people are supporting the billionaire over a person who's getting paid $200,000 to be MJF, which is stupid. That being said, I know that when you do deals, you can't simply give people more money, which is what he wants. You have to restructure a contract, which means re-signing, which usually means extending. So I know that that's the way those contracts work, but he's not really willing to extend. He wants the same amount. So I don't know if they can restructure in any other way. It seems like there's something going on there that we might not be privy to, or it's just MJF wants something that he's not getting right now. And I don't know what that would be. We're all just guessing until he says something. We're not going to really know. So, but I do find it disgusting that people are like siding not with the talent when they were doing that with Sasha and Naomi. And that's the part that I have a hard time with. Yeah, good for them for walking out, and then bad for MJF. It's weird.
And as you pointed out earlier, Brad, he had some pretty nuclear heat for this crowd, and he's so aware of it because I'm sure you recall he did the airplane spin in the ring during his entrance. Like he's egging it on, and he's telling the crowd, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
But man, it's just going to be fascinating to see where this goes. Again, I don't think we're going to see him on TV for a bit, but beyond that, you and I have mentioned this several times. I think in this very crowded AEW men's division, we forget that MJF is, I think, the combination of in-ring work plus mic skills plus age. Like, this isn't even peak MJF. He still has, I think, another level to go.
Yeah.
I think you can put him who would you want for the next 10 years more than MJF? This guy is already that dude, but I think he still has another level to get to, which is incredibly scary and very exciting for us.
Totally agreed. Okay, to our DraftKings championship match and whole show predictions. Which move will be first? We said GTS. It was not. It was the buckshot lariat. Will either wrestler go over the barricade? They did not. They went into the barricade, but not over the barricade. We said they would. How long will the match go? We said over 21 and a half. That's the first one we've gotten correct so far. Who will bleed first? We said Hangman. Nobody bled. The first pinfall attempt, we said Punk. I believe it was Page. And then will either wrestler use a casino-themed object as a weapon? We said no. We got that right. The whole show, how many titles will change hands? We said over 1.5. Damn. Only one. Only one.
I should have seen it coming, man. I should have.
Who, if anyone, will bleed during the pay-per-view? We said CM Punk and Hangman. It feels like they were the only ones that didn't. But Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, MJF, Wardlow, CM Punk, Hangman were the options. Otherwise, was none of the above, or a non-listed wrestler bleeds, or no wrestler bleeds. We should have gone with non-listed wrestler bleeds because all of the people in that Anarchy in the Arena match were bleeding. Will there be any surprise attacks after the bell from someone other than their opponent? We said yes. I think there were. Were there surprise attacks? I can't remember.
I don't believe so. We had after Anna Jade, but there was no physicality there.
I don't think there
were any attacks. It was a pretty clean show.
Just dead wrong there too.
Yeah.
Will any match have the action spill out backstage? Hard to answer that when there's the Anarchy in the Arena match. I don't really know what that means. We said yes, because yes. How many matches will end in a DQ? Over or under 0.5? We said under. We were right. How many tables will be broken? We took the over on 1.5. And boy, did it go over.
No brainer.
I don't know how many tables broke in this match. 100?
I just remember the Proud and Powerful and 2.0 spot. I think they took care of at least 3. They were attending for 4. They ended up getting at least 3 in that one spot alone.
Well, and then there's the just Jericho and Moxley standing on the table. When Jericho put Mox in the walls, you could already see that table bowing.
Great
and then
walls.
It just collapsed. Yeah. But Hager, I think, was supposed to break another table with I think it was Santana. I can't remember who it was. No, it was Ortiz. Hit him in that tackle, but knocked him over the table entirely. And that was clearly not supposed to happen. He just Hager's just a monster.
We forget that. Yeah,
he's an absolute beast. He's so big and so tall and has no right being that athletic and that fast for such a huge guy. And by all accounts, everybody seems to like that dude in the company. We got the tables, I guess, correct. It was over 1.5. Will any wrestler turn on their team? We said no. We were correct. In fact, we had a wrestler join a team. So that was it. We did very poorly in this. I don't do the percentages, but I want to say it was like 30%, maybe 40% if we're lucky. Not great.
Yeah, no, not our best outing, Brad. If we were to try this again for the next pay-per-view, I hope we perform better. I have confidence in us. We gave it our best shot, man. But I should have seen not Jurassic Express. I should have seen Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy retaining. That's the one that's really, I'm going to think about that tonight as I lay my head down to go to sleep. I should have seen that one coming, but I'm proud of us for attempting this first DraftKings sportsbook play.
Yeah, that was fun. I think there's a future in us doing some props where we just make them up on our own and see if we can get listeners, viewers to play along. It doesn't have to really be for money, just fun picks. And we'll go from there. Unless DraftKings is willing to sponsor, then we will absolutely be doing that. Anyway, yes, thank you if you stuck with us for an hour and 33 minutes, which is our norm. Thank you for tuning in. This is a little bit different, even though it's our weekly show. We don't have segments on this one. but we did recap an incredible pay-per-view. We managed to go less than half the length of the actual pay-per-view, so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, me too, Brad. This was an absolute blast. Always a joy to chop it up with you. It feels like it's been a while since we've done a post pay-per-view edition of Gimmick Infringement for whatever reason.
Mania.
Maybe just a lot of life has happened.
I think it was Mania, which wasn't that long ago.
That
but
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, kind of long ago.
But yeah, absolutely. No, man, this was a blast. This was a really fun show. I'm not quite ready to rank it amongst all of the other great AEW pay-per-views, but in terms of being newsworthy and just jam-packed, that this is right up there. I had a blast watching. I had a blast chopping it up with you about all the matches, and I hope our listeners and viewers enjoyed all of this. You can follow Brad at Winduster on Twitter. You can follow me at Tyler J. McDowell. You can follow Gimmick Infringement at GIPod19. Also, be sure to follow the Mighty 19 Media Group at 19M Group on Twitter. Check out the roster. Check out the wonderful podcasts and just all the art that's being created from our teammates over there. And we hope that you'll join us on the next episode of Gimmick Infringement. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.